First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Well, good morning, everybody. Meteorologist Lou Turner here with you, and we are talking weather impact alert for a Wednesday. So we've been tracking for more than a week now, watching the potential for a pretty strong front to be coming across the United States. Big area of low pressure tracking out of the Rockies and just pulling in all this warm, moist air out of the Gulf and feeding the system. And that's creating some severe weather across our country right now. And for us, well, we're going to watch that threat. Now, with our weather impact alert, of course, we always like to do these on days where the weather is going to provide at the bottom level, the baseline level, inconvenient, right? So if it's going to be everybody gets some rain during morning or evening commutes, or there's going to be some thunderstorms for a good portion of our area, we like to put the weather impact alert out so you know, and you're prepared. Now, there's also the next level that deals with severe weather, and that's a level all on its own. And we want you to be prepared for that because of the danger associated with it. Not all the time are weather impact alerts associated with danger. It's the baseline, as I mentioned, is inconvenience. You got to change plans. But with this particular weather impact alert, we do have that added element of the potential for some severe weather, I think, in the form of some straight line winds, some strong gusty winds. The storm's already produced some 50, 60 mile an hour plus winds, and it's already produced some tornado warnings as well. Now, I will kind of preface all of this by saying the tornado risk at this point seems low, but we can't rule it out entirely. So we're going to want to be very, very prepared. The window of time, we're adjusting this, and adjustments will happen, but for now, it's an 8 to 2 window. And that means it will enter the areas of our First Coast and in southeast Georgia. So we tend to refer to our First Coast as folks who can see us on TV, but of course you're watching digitally, and that has no boundaries. So we're talking about Ware and Pierce County, the western edges of what would be our typical traditional broadcast linear area. That would be around 8 a.m. And then through 2 to 3 p.m., most of it will be into the eastern edges and towards the Atlantic. So that would be the south side and southeastern Duval into St. Johns County and Putnam County and down towards Flagler. The impact's going to be the storms, right? So we're going to get some widespread rain with the severe threat isolated in nature. And when we say severe, there's certain guidelines that have to be hit for that, and that would be damaging winds in the 50 to 60 mile an hour range and up with those gusts. And then, of course, large hail. There is a severe kind of requirement for that, smaller risk for that. But I think really what we're looking at would be some thunder and the risk of the winds. We'll talk about that in a moment. So what I think you need to do as we're preparing now, we got a day out. We actually have a bluebird day today. We could get a couple of showers along the coast today, but warm day today. Today's the day to prepare. Of course, rain gear necessary. With the timing of this, though, this is going to be when a lot of people are away from television sets. This is going to be when in their homes, going to work, at school. So I want you to have a way, and I'm indicating the cell phone there. I want you to have a way with your device to get alerts sent to you. So have your First Coast News app, turn the notifications on, and it's geolocated to you. So we will get you those, any warnings that come in, we'll get them to you directly, and then you can stream us because we'll be doing it on air and right here on our digital platform as anything happens to be severe. As I mentioned the day, though, I do want to quickly hit a today forecast for you before we get in kind of the meat and potatoes of why we're really talking, which is our weather impact alert. So for our day today, mix of sun and clouds, those southerly winds, a little bit of a precursor to potential for severe weather. You get those southerly winds, southwesterly winds coming, then you get moisture in the atmosphere, you get a little heat, a little humidity, and that provides the fuel along with a triggering mechanism. So today we get the heat back. So remember, yesterday we were much cooler. Today we're much warmer. We're going to be in the mid-70s through the day, and then through the evening we stay rather mild as well, considering those southerly winds. And here's your bigger picture. This is the satellite radar loop, and you can see the line there. It's a robust line. You've got all kinds of different shades on there. So the bigger yellow boxes would be your severe thunderstorm and even tornado watches. And within that, you've got smaller boxes there, that would indicate severe thunderstorm warnings, and that's the majority of those warnings, isn't it, that you see? That would be your straight line wind issues, so 50, 60 mile an hour plus winds. And then even more granular down below, you see the red sort of polygon there. That is indicative of a tornado warning. So take that percentage. What do you see most? You see the straight line wind issues most with this line, with the small chance for seeing those tornadoes moving into Louisiana now, which in fact we've got a live picture from the Big Easy. Today's a big day. It's Fat Tuesday. It's Mardi Gras. We've got the live shot there on Bourbon Street. There are still revelers out. This is before the storms, so they are still good to go. But in New Orleans, I know officials, some of the more on the books Mardi Gras celebrations had to be canceled. I know there's plenty of people that are still going to get after it no matter what, because it's still, of course, Fat Tuesday. We got Ash Wednesday tomorrow. So folks there in and along Bourbon Street getting it in while they can, but that line is certainly making its way down I-10. So kind of zooming in a little bit, showing you a more close-up picture, that northwest section of Louisiana now seeing the most severe of the weather with that tornado warning. There you see in the box, and then the orange box is representing more straight line wind threats. And zooming back out, you can see New Orleans, which will be a little later on this afternoon and evening, they'll be getting theirs. Now, another thing I want you to notice with this picture is just how thin that line is. So it is a fast moving system, and it is a very narrow line. So any impacts that are going to be happening, so if you get under one of these storms for Wednesday, it's going to be with you quickly. So a good thing to take away, while it is moving fast and does have that severe threat, these are fast moving storms. So once again, I'm going to hit on that timing, 8 to 2. Severe threat is there, have the alerts. And Storm Prediction Center, they issue a scale of risk when it comes to severe thunderstorms and thunderstorms in general around our country, and a bunch of different parameters, the ingredients that are in place, and then how strong the line is that's coming across our country. And what you see here, if you look at the key in the top right, so you got low risk, meaning that's your essentially when it comes to severe, you're almost at a 0 there. Marginal is at a 1, slight 2, enhanced 3, moderate 4, high 5. So it's essentially a 0 to 5 scale, 1 to 5 being where we really kind of cue in. If you were with us this time yesterday, we were looking at Storm Prediction Center. They actually had us listed as that marginal risk, so a 1. They've actually bumped it up and you notice that yellow area includes all of our counties: St. John's, Duval, Putnam, Clay, Baker, Bradford, Union, Columbia, even down to Alachua, and then our southeastern Georgia counties from Ware, Pierce, Charlton, Brantley, Glenn, and Camden. So all of you are in that yellow, which would be the slight risk, which means confidence growing from the guys even at Storm Prediction Center of at least having a few thunderstorms that would pop on the severe side. So that means damaging side. And then you look up to the enhanced level towards the coast of South Carolina, from Beaufort County through Charleston, and then up into the coastal North Carolina, and then the Mid-Atlantic and beyond. They're in the enhanced risk, and those are rare to see. When you see enhanced, moderate, or high, that's when confidence is getting up there that they're going to have some damage when it comes to their storms in the terms of severe. So let's time things out. I mentioned that window. I'm trying to be conservative. I want us to have kind of the widest scale, but also realistic scale of when we could see some of the strongest storms, and then when we can be done with it. So kind of zooming into Futurecast here. So early morning, Wednesday. This is 3:30 a.m. While most human beings are sleeping, we'll be awake. And, of course, I'll be gearing up for Good Morning Jacksonville at that point. But see those strong southerly winds, those wind barbs coming directly from the south, out of the Gulf, out of the Atlantic, and due south from out of Miami even, pumping in that warm tropical air. It's going to keep our temperatures rather mild overnight tonight into Wednesday morning. Just a little bit of fuel there for that line of storms. Strong storms in Atlanta. You see that line stays pretty wide up towards Atlanta and North Georgia. Look how narrow that line is, and look how it tries to fall apart as it gets to Northeast Florida. We've seen this before, but confidence still relatively high that at least within, and this is 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. specifically, at least within some of those cells that you see, kind of the reds, the oranges, the yellows. Within those small, really fast-moving cells, there is the opportunity for bursts of really strong wind, that damaging wind. So today would be the day, on top of having the app, also making sure your yard flamingos are pulled in, or any decorative stuff you've got in the yard. If you have lawn furniture, let's put it to where it's not going to blow away and become a projectile. But with how quickly this is moving, if we fast forward a little bit, within Duval County by 10, 11 o'clock, we'll call it the lunch hour to just be on the safe side. You can quickly, after about 30, 45 minutes, be comfortable knowing that this is such a fast mover and there's not much behind it, that you can go ahead and, once you start hearing thunder, you're safe to get the patio furniture back out there. And once it passes you, you're basically done. And here's that extra edge. You see St. Johns County and Flagler, kind of the last lingering threats of this as we get to the after lunch hour. And then by 5, 6 o'clock, well, we've got some cooler air moving in, but the line has moved offshore. And then by Wednesday afternoon and evening, we're done. So this is truly kind of a mid-morning to early afternoon situation for us. There are a couple of takeaways with that I find encouraging. If this were a little bit later, and we'll certainly watch and see if this line slows down at all, if it's a little bit later in the day and you get more daytime heating, you get more of those southerly winds pumping in more heat and moisture, then you'd have more of a chance to get some stronger storms. But being earlier in the day, we're hopeful that this kind of takes that chance down just a bit. So your bigger picture here, all of this synoptically is that low pressure, see that bullseye there on your screen, right up between Omaha and St. Louis. That's your area of low pressure, and that's kind of the driving mechanism behind all of this. But with those low pressures so tight with the high pressure, it's those pressure gradients. High pressure moves air to low pressure. It's a full balloon, that high pressure tight, that it's the air escapes and tries to fill in the low pressure. That's why the winds move around those circles, coming in out of the south, feeding that conveyor belt of moisture from the Gulf into these storms. And that's why New Orleans is kind of on heightened alert, being right there along the coast, the timing of it being in the afternoon, so they'll warm up enough. That's why they have a higher risk of seeing some severe weather. This would include Mississippi and Alabama and central Georgia. But once that front moves through, a front essentially is just a pool of cool air running into a pool of warmer air. Once that finally crosses, we're left with a cooler day come Thursday, and then a little bit of a rebound by Friday. So I'm encouraged by how quickly this is moving through. I like to do county by county, so if you'll just kind of let's go and remembering our timing. Waycross, and Blackshear, Ware, Brantley, Pierce counties specifically, you're going to be on the leading edge of this and certainly could get some heavy downpours, but remember, this is going to be quick. I'm going to open your window a little before 8 a.m., but right at it, to about 11 a.m., and then you'll be done. And your impacts, rain, thunder, strong winds, have the app alerts on, and let's pull in some lawn furniture just in case. A little heavier rainfall. Look at the dark, bright reds for our friends in Charleston County, Glenn County, Camden and Nassau in southeast Georgia, right up the I-95 corridor. This heavy rainfall coming in quick, so I don't anticipate a lot of accumulation of rain, not the drenching rain that we've seen in these day-long events, but this will be fast with those gusty winds at 50 plus possible. Secure your outside property. Now, I'm hesitant to mention the word tornado too often because I don't want to panic, but I do want us to be aware that within some of these cells you could get rotation. And with that means tornado warnings, which means, of course, we'll be sending that to your phone and we'll be getting on air with that and broadcasting throughout the duration, both on air and here on this digital side as well. So we're prepared for that. We've got that in our mind, and we want you to have that kind of in your mind as well. Columbia, Baker, Union, and Bradford up I-10. Still got pretty good heavy downpours possible for you with isolated severe storm winds. Have your apps. This could bring tree limbs down. Could cause some minor damage around some homes, so let's be prepared for that. Duval, I'm just keeping you in the full window. We know it's a little bit later for Duval when I showed you that computer modeling, but let's be on alert 8 a.m., 2 p.m., of course, we'll be talking about it and tracking it. And even during Good Morning Jacksonville tomorrow when you join me, we'll have a really good window of time. But this just 8 to 2 for you here across Duval. And then that line as we're kind of moving over, you see heavy rains, certainly blinding rains possible across Clay and Putnam County. The later end of the window is that really aggressively the latest is 3 to 4 o'clock that we've seen with this, with those gusty winds. We're going to hear the rumbles of thunder in St. John's, Flagler County as the storm finally exits offshore a little bit later, 10 to 3. We'll be watching very, very carefully. But again, we're thinking that's later for you guys. Storm impacts for your Wednesday. Heavy rain, that's kind of your high risk. We know we're going to get some heavy blinding pockets of rain across the area. Damaging wind, medium risk. And when I say damaging, I mean the severe level of it. So the Storm Prediction Center has us in that slight risk. I'm going to keep us at the medium chance of seeing some damaging winds. A brief tornado and hail on the low end. So an isolated tornado warning certainly can't rule out. Hail certainly can't rule out, but that's low. Know your safe spot, folks. That's a big, scary graphic. I'm only showing you this as a reminder as March, traditionally the battle of spring and winter is our severe weather season. We, of course, have hurricane season. That's its own monster of severe weather where we can get tornadoes as well. But why not remember your safe place? Of course, lowest floor of your home, most central room without windows. There you go, and have places to go in the back of your mind. That would be, because again, remembering these timings, maybe you aren't going to be at home at these times. So where would you go in an office space and building? So remember, lowest level, most central location there. So know your safe spot. We put basements in this graphic. We don't have basements, do we? If you have a basement in Florida, God bless you. So I'll wrap up with this. Of course, ask us all the questions you have. We'll be there to answer online. You can email me, Lewis Turner, firstcoastnews.com. All our weather team is going to be here, throughout the duration. And it's a quick duration as well. So I'm encouraged by that. Showing you that nice March. I will say spring. We're not quite there yet. Seasonally speaking, meteorological spring certainly began on March 1st for record-keeping purposes. But we have that typical 7-day that we're going to see in that battle of seasons between March and then April, where we get the line of thunderstorms, we get a cool down, then we bounce back and we warm back up. So our weather impact alert for Wednesday, we've got that highlighted. Thursday, that cold air rushes in behind, so we're going to have a cool day with those strong west winds coming in on your Thursday. Then a nice bounce back for the weekend with a chance of showers for sure, mild temperatures out there, and we spring forward. Let's not forget that on Saturday, Sunday. So thank you for joining me. I will say we've got a crew here. Of course, Tim and the gang will be in. I was trying to check the schedules. I'm not sure if Ross or Lee is in this evening with Tim, but they'll be with you here at 4 o'clock. And then, of course, during the traditional over-the-air broadcast, answering a ton of questions as well. And I'll be checking with you again right here as necessary. In fact, chances are we'll be broadcasting pretty steadily in the duration of the system tomorrow right here on First Coast News Plus and wherever you could get to consume us on our digital side of things. In the meantime, I'll see you back here at the noon broadcast if you can join us on air. Have a great day.
Weather impact alert, highlighted in our forecast days in advance. Trust our forecast to give you more clarity on the days you need to be aware. We're committed to make sure you know what's to come so you can be ready for it. Trust the First Coast's most accurate weather team. Trust Weather Impact Alert Days.
A more mild morning and a warmer afternoon, but then the storms move in on Wednesday. I'm First Coast News meteorologist Lewis Turner. We're starting out our day in the upper 40s and low 50s. Probably still need a jacket as you begin your day. By the afternoon, though, we're going to be in the mid-70s around the First Coast with a stray shower moving in from the south, mainly along the coast. About 20% of us will see a quick drizzle through our afternoon, but then we prepare for Wednesday storms. A fast-moving line will be coming in between the window of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. It'll be the chance for the strongest of the weather, and we will continue to watch. With your most accurate forecast, I'm First Coast News meteorologist Lewis Turner.
We're going to call it a weather alert period between 3 and 7.
I love to forecast the weather.
My passion is making sure you are prepared and you are ready to start your day.
I grew up watching First Coast News. I grew up watching Tim Deegan.
Meteorology is not only my job, it's my hobby. I love being a meteorologist. I love being a part of your day, earning your trust. We can't be on your side by just telling you that.
When it comes to a forecast, trust isn't just one thing. Trust is the only thing that matters.
People plan their day around the forecast, and we know that.
We do our best to give you the most accurate outlook, and it's even graded.
I think it's an honor to be a part of the most accurate weather team. How can I be a better forecaster and better communicator for you?
Every storm,
Every forecast.
Earning your trust is just the beginning. We promise to keep it.
The First Coast's most accurate weather team, sponsored by AC Designs.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Lee Southwick. You're watching the First Coast News Weather Channel. We are proud to have been named the most accurate weather team in Jacksonville for the 5th year in a row by WeatherRate. We take our forecasting very seriously, and we want to get every detail right and accurate. We know weather impacts your day, whether it's going to work, going to school, running errands, going to the beach, or out on the water. You need to know what time that rain is going to arrive, how hot it's going to be, if fog is going to impact you, or if it's windy. And we want to nail it every day for you. We promise to keep working hard to stay the most accurate when it comes to forecasting for the First Coast.
You're looking for answers. You need to understand the facts. You want the truth.
So I've been doing this over 42 years. It is not boring.
The First Coast is my home. I grew up here, and I worked really hard to get back here.
because I want you to be ready for what's coming.
You got to make sure you're exactly on point with your forecast.
Being part of the most accurate weather team, we can give you that trust, helping you stay safe.
Every single day, I can become a better forecaster.
You earn someone's trust by showing up every day for them.
Why does it matter in a forecast? Trust isn't everything, it's the only thing.
Consistency with, the accuracy in your forecast.
You're planning your day around it. You're planning your life around the weather forecast.
Every storm.
Every forecast.
We are earning your trust.
Earning your trust is just the beginning. We promise to keep it.
Rely on the team working every day to earn your trust. First Coast News, on your side.
Hi, folks. I'm meteorologist Lewis Turner, working here at First Coast News. We're